I just created this animated website using OpenArt and a single prompt inside of Claude Code, and I'm about to show you exactly how to do the same. Alright boys, so I've got an insane one for you guys today, because in this video I'm about to show you how to create full-fledged premium animated websites using Claude Code and OpenArt. I'm going to walk you through all the steps that it takes, because look boys, I understand there's tons of misinformation out there when it comes to actually making websites with Claude Code, and there's a bunch of stuff that may not be true, a bunch of stuff that may be true. So I'm going to show you guys the full process in this video, the entire process step by step. By the end of the video, we're even going to have a live website that you guys can visit if you want to. There's going to be 4 different steps, all of which are extremely simple, so you don't have to worry about all this nerdy stuff. It's literally, number 1 is going to be generating our assets using OpenArt. Number 2 is going to be just creating a GitHub repository to host the code. Number 3 is going to be generating the code using Claude Code, obviously. And then number 4 is going to be publishing and hosting the website. That's literally it. And listen lads, if that wasn't already enough, I'm going to be giving you guys for completely free this document that you can see on my screen right here, which will basically walk you through everything that we're doing in this video. I'm going to be referring to it a few times throughout the video. So yeah, maybe you can just have it open whenever you're creating your own website and it'll help you out. Also, everything is linked in here as well. Right, so the first and arguably most important step is going to be generating the animations that we're later going to put on the website. And for that, we're using OpenArt. I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to come to this exact website. And you're obviously going to need to click start for free or just create an account, and I'll see you guys once I've logged in. Right, so once you've logged in, you might feel a little overwhelmed if you haven't used a platform like this before, but don't worry, I'm gonna hold your hand, I'm gonna walk you through how to do everything. But before we do, we need to decide what type of animation we actually want on the website. Now, for this example, I'm going to be using a basic scroll animation where it's kind of like a product that appears at the top, and then as you scroll, it kind of explodes into a diagram version. You guys will see what I mean, once we've generated the video. But keep in mind, you can do this for any type of animation that you want. I'm just doing this for our example. So after going through Google Images a little bit, the product that we settled on is this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera, and I actually just got one myself. I'm going to be using it for some content in the future, so I thought, why not do it for this? Now, the first image that I came across was this one right here, and I want to use it as a warning for you guys who are doing similar stuff. Make sure that if you're doing any type of product images or animations, you don't want it to be facing front on, because you're not able to, or the AI isn't able to determine the depth of the item, okay? So that's rule number 1. So then after looking a little bit more, we came across this image, which is basically like the same thing, but you can just see the side view of the item right now, which gives the AI a little bit more understanding of the depth. But to be honest with you, there's still an issue with this one right here. And if you guys are familiar with AI, then you might have already caught on to this, which is the fact that if we want this to be an exploding diagram type of animation, there's no space at the top or the bottom of the image. So what happens when the item explodes? There's going to be things that are out of the frame. It's going to be a little bit messy because there's no room to play with. And I'm actually going to show you guys an example that I made in a few seconds here, which kind of demonstrates that point, which leads me to the final image that we ended up settling on, which is this one right here. We've checked all boxes, as you can see. It's a kind of side angle view where you can see the depth of the item, plus there's room on the top and the bottom and the left and the right where the AI video model can basically do whatever it wants to do. So now that we finalized our start frame here, we can head back over to OpenArt, and we need to create an end frame for the video. So we have the start frame and the end frame, and the AI video model can create everything that happens in between. So to do this, we'll go to the left toolbar right here and we'll click on image. Then it'll open up this page. As you can see, I've been, what the Now, in order to get the prompt, I would highly recommend, again, that you guys use the document that I'm providing to you guys. The link will be below. As always, it's free. So you can scroll down to where it says making the end frame right here. So this is kind of the template end frame prompt. This is the one that I'm going to be using specific to this video. As you can see, it's literally customized for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And keep in mind, guys, you can literally use this template prompt even if you're doing a different type of website. Just give the prompt to Claude, say, use this as kind of a foundation, but change it for whatever you might be making, okay? So then we're going to head back to OpenArt. We're literally just going to paste in this prompt, and don't forget, obviously, we need to drag and drop our reference image here. So basically all we're saying, if you guys want the quick summary of this, is that it's going to keep everything the same, but it's going to make a clean exploded technical diagram. And you can see a couple examples I've done on the right side here, which I'll show you guys in a second. More or less, everything will stay the same, but the parts of the item will kind of dissect and everything will become labeled. Aside from that, I'd also highly recommend using the GPT Image 2 model. You can kind of experiment with Nano Banana Pro because there are some things it might be better at. For example, creating interior rooms and stuff like that. I found Nano Banana Pro to be better. But yeah, depending on what you're doing, most of the time, it'll probably be better to use GPT Image 2. Then when you scroll down, I would highly recommend testing. Let me just change this. Oh yeah. You want to keep it in 4K pretty much always. Then you also want to make sure that the aspect ratio matches whatever your input image is. So for this one, it's square, which means 1:1. But for a lot of you guys, I imagine it'll be like 16:9. Maybe you might have some 9:16. Just make sure that it matches whatever the aspect ratio of the input input image is. Quality, I would highly recommend keeping this to low to test out with, because you can see the credits that it takes, okay? If we keep it on low, it's 48 for 4 different images. If we change it to high, which is the best quality, it basically 10x's or more than 10x's actually. So do a couple test runs with the low version. Then when you want to kind of get your final version, you can either do high or medium. And then once all of that's set, you literally just click generate and you're good to go. And once you guys are happy with your end frame, you can literally just click on this thing in the top right and click download in whatever file format that you want to. All right, so now we've got our start frame and our end frame. It's time for the fun part, which is going to be to generate the video that's going to be our animation for the website. Now to do that, on the left toolbar, there's going to be a button that says video. You click on video. Now this is where we need to upload our start frame and our end frame that we just generated right there. So start frame, you can drag and drop into there, and then end frame, let me grab that, drag and drop into here. So that's the start frame, that's the end frame. It's the way the video is going to start and finish. Then to get our prompt, again, we're going to go back to the document. Link is in the description, like I've said 40 times already. And you can see step 3 is going to be generating the video. This prompt here is the one that I am using, but the prompt above it is kind of the template. As you can see, you would replace product with whatever product you're using, or just give the prompt to Claude and say, adjust it to whatever your situation is. So we're going to go back to OpenArt. We're going to paste in the prompt. Please guys, make sure you have Seedance 2.0 selected. You don't want to be using some ass model and be getting horrible results, because one of the main things here is that the model needs to be good enough to keep the text intact. And really only Seedance, maybe Kling, will be able to do that here. Maybe Grok as well, but Seedance has the best chance. Just listen to me, okay? Seedance 2.0. Scroll down, audio should be off unless you need it to be on. You can have some animated websites where you have the audio playing as people scroll. So if you want to do that, keep it on. We're going to keep it off though. Make sure this is normal, just a little bit higher quality than fast, although you could do a few test generations in fast mode if you want to. Then for the output, again, make sure the aspect ratio matches the aspect ratio of the images. Again, for us, it's 1:1, which is square. For resolution, I'd highly recommend you do a couple test generations in 480p. Once you're kind of happy with how they're turning out, you can either change it to 720p or 1080p. I think the example that I've done is 720p and it looks pretty much perfect. Keep your duration to 4 seconds. Might be thinking, because I had this thought too, why not increase the duration? Because then we're going to get more frames that the website can work with. It's going to seem more smooth. That's what I thought. But it's such a little difference, such a little quality improvement for a lot worse kind of load time. And I don't know how to describe it. Okay, long story short, just keep it to 4 seconds. You might be able to go to like 4 to 6 seconds if you want to, but I would recommend keeping within that 6-second range. We're going to go with 4 seconds and then we're just going to click generate. Now, before I show you guys the result, do you remember at the start of the video how I was saying that you need to give the item some room to breathe, because the item is basically going to explode right now, and if there's no room at the top or the bottom, it's really not going to end up that well. Well, this is basically the result of that. So if we don't give room at the top or the bottom, you can see it's kind of coming out of the frame. And when we put this on the website, it's basically going to be like hard cut off. That's basically a perfect example of, even though it ends in a good spot, everything that happens in the middle as the user scrolling, it's going to look real awkward. So that's a horrendous example. But now let's get to the actual example, which is this one right here. So this is with everything done right. There's space at the top and the bottom. And if we click play, literally perfect, literally perfect. Like you can't get much better than that. Even the text coming out is like animated. If you read everything, everything looks legible. 2-inch rotatable touchscreen, control stick, front cover, record button, device body, gimbal base, gimbal plus camera head. Everything is literally perfect. So start frame is done, end frame is done, animation is done. Don't forget always to click on the download button to make sure you have everything saved. But now step 1's done. We can move on to step 2, which is creating our GitHub repository. All right, so step 2 should literally take under 60 seconds. First thing you want to do is obviously come to GitHub. I'll leave it linked in the description, and also you can see it in the document I've been referring to. Once you're here, just log in or create an account. Now, once you've logged in, you'll be on a homepage like this. And what we need to do now is extremely simple. Literally just click on your profile picture in the top right-hand corner, then click on repositories. Once you're here, it'll take you to your repositories page. And then you click on this green button that says new. Once you click on new, you can literally name your repository. We're just going to name it, I don't know, test 4 or something. You can put a description if you want to. You don't need to though. I'd highly recommend to changing it to private. And then that's all you have to do. Literally create repository. It'll take maybe like 10 seconds or so to create the repository. Then once we've done that, we've created our repository, but there's one more thing that we need to do. And that thing is to upload our animation that we just created. So this button right here that says upload an existing file, we'll literally just click on that. It'll open up this new interface right here. Then we can drag and drop our video where it says drag and drop your files. It'll start uploading, and then we can say whatever we want to right here. We're just going to say animation to signify that we're uploading the animation. Then you click on commit changes, and just like that, and I believe that was around about 60 seconds, we've got a full created GitHub repository with our animation in there. And now we can move on to step 3, which is generating the website with Claude Code. So step 3, obviously come to Claude Code. I'll see you guys once you've logged into your account. All right, so once we're logged into Claude Code, the first thing and the literal most important thing that you need to do right now is make sure that you connect Claude Code to the GitHub repository that we just created. Now, if you guys remember, the name of the GitHub repository that we created was test4. If it's not showing up or you can't find it, make sure you click on it'll say something like connect to a repo or something like that. You click on this and you'll be able to scroll through all of your repositories. Make sure you click on the one that you just created. If it's not showing up, just refresh your page. It'll pretty much always work. Now for the model here in the bottom right, just go with the best one, okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. If Fable 5 was available, trust me, I'd be using Fable 5, okay? But because it's not, we're going with Opus 4.8. Usually I'll change this to either maxed out or high at the very least. We'll keep it on high for now. Then we'll go back to the document here because it's time to put in our prompt. So we'll scroll down to, where is it? Step 5. Step 5 is going to be the Claude Code prompt. And guys, this is where it becomes insane because it's literally just a single prompt. You're going to see the website come to life in literally one prompt, okay? So I'm just going to scroll down and I'm literally going to copy and paste this entire thing. Oh, come on, bruv. Okay, I guess I'll see you guys once we finish scrolling up here.
2,000 years later.
Okay, guys, instead of being stupid like me, okay, quick hack, if you're using this document, literally just scroll out so you can actually see the prompt and then you can just copy and paste it like this. Let's go back to Claude. We'll paste it in right here. Let me just explain it briefly for a second here. So if we zoom in, as you guys can see, literally the first line says, find the product video that I've uploaded in this repo. Claude Code is going to go to our repo and find the animation itself. We don't even need to say a product name or anything like that. It's going to say the tech stack to use right here. It's going to say what to do with the assets. It's going to say how to kind of format the hero section. What just happened? How to format the hero section, the structure of the page. Again, guys, you can't use my prompt that I'm using right here and expect it to somehow match whatever you're envisioning. Just send this prompt to Claude and just tweak whatever you need to tweak. These are the designs right here, so you can change the colors if you want to. And then this is just some nerdy shit at the bottom, okay? So let's go back to Claude Code, and it's as simple as that. You copy, paste, and then you can run the prompt. Bang. Now, I will say this is going to take... Bruv, get away from me. This is going to take usually like genuinely 20 to 30 minutes. So I don't know, bruv. Like go do something, come back in 20 to 30 minutes and it'll be done.
A few moments later.
Now look, boys, you guys should know me by now, okay? There is no chance that I'm about to sit here and stare at a wall for half an hour. So what I've done is ahead of time, I've already prepared this Claude Code chat where I've already ran the same prompt that you guys just saw. So as you can see, this is the result. It's gone through and it's done all of this. We're picking up exactly where we just left off. It even sometimes it might send some images to kind of like update you with the design and everything. But yeah, as you can see, this whole chat is literally still just one prompt. Now from here, I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to do. So before anything is live, okay, nothing's live right now. We haven't even hooked it up to a website hosting provider. But what we need to do first is we need to go back to GitHub. So remember, all we have in the GitHub repository right now is the animation that we uploaded right here. What we need to do now that Claude is done is we need to click on this button that says branches. When we click on that, basically the one that's the highest up, the one that has the most recent activity is the one that we need to click on. For you guys, if you just ran the prompt, it'll say like 2 minutes ago or something like that. So you click on that and this is going to be a new branch of the original repo. Then you're going to see it'll say that this branch is one commit ahead of the main branch. You literally just click on that. Guys, I don't even know what I'm doing right here, okay? You don't need any experience. All I know is that I click the buttons that it tells me to click. So you click that, you say create pull request. Then it's going to come up with all this nerdy stuff. You click create pull request. I'm not even reading the stuff, bro. I'm just clicking the things that I know to click. From here, this is where you need to merge the request into the main branch because the main branch is going to be where the website is actually hosted from. So you click that, click on confirm merge, and then usually it'll take like 20 to 30 seconds more before everything is merged and it's all ready and it's good to go and it's doing whatever it needs to do. Now, if you do want to make sure that everything has been merged and everything's fine now, you can click up where it says main right up here, and then your main branch, you can see all the new files will be here. This is everything that Claude Code just updated itself. And just like that, step 3 is complete, boys. The only thing left to do is actually see the fruits of our labor now by hosting the website and actually seeing what it looks like. So for step 4, we're going to be hosting our website with Vercel. Please, guys, I just need you to take my word for this, okay? Vercel is the best by far. I'll leave a link. It's not even an affiliate link, or at least not right now. Maybe it will be in the future. But just go to Vercel, sign up right there. It's going to be completely free to host your website there, and I'll see you guys once I've logged in. All right, guys, so once you've logged in, it literally could not be easier to host your website. All you have to do is click on the black button that says add new. You click on project, and then what we're going to do, because we're importing a project from a GitHub repository, is we're going to find the one that we're importing. For us, it's this one right here. We're going to click on import. You can change stuff here if you want to. I don't know what any of this means, and I'm assuming you guys don't either. I'm literally just going to click on deploy, and then again, it'll take maybe like 20 to 30 seconds. So I see you guys once the actual website is up and running. Okay, so after a few seconds, it says congratulations, everything's been deployed, but it looks like there's been an issue. So let's get to the bottom of this. Let's click on continue to dashboard and let's see what's going on. All right, boys. So I can't say this has happened to me before, but it's honestly not a bad thing because I'm about to show you guys exactly what you should be doing in case for whatever reason it glitches out and it's saying 404 not found, whatever. So first thing we're going to do is we're literally just going to screenshot this, okay? You don't need any experience to be doing anything that I'm about to show you. Now, let's go back to Vercel. Something else you guys should be doing, I guess it's kind of good practice, is to check your deploy logs. If there's anything going wrong here, it'll show up in red. But as you can see, everything looks fine here. Deployment summary, there's no red. Everything really just looks normal, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take that screenshot that we just took. We're going to go back to Claude. We're literally just going to say, yo, bruv, trying to host website on Vercel, but it's coming up with this error after deployment. Bang. Right, boys. So a couple minutes has passed right here. And from what I could tell, it was a basic like file path type of issue. So something simple that should be fixed right now. So let's find out together if it's actually working. If that little one prompt, me saying, yo, bro, fix this shit now, if it actually works. So we'll go back to Vercel. Make sure you click deployment so you can actually see the latest deployment you have right here. As you can see, this one from a minute ago is the one that Claude literally just did itself. So we'll click on that. Okay, it's looking more promising. You can click on either one of these domains. They'll both lead to the same place. And let's see, okay, moment of truth, boys. Is it going to do the scroll? I mean, look sick right now. Is it going to do the scroll animation? Nah. I'm telling you, bro. Bro, nah. We can't, like, bro, this was a single prompt, okay? This was one prompt. Like, the only annoying thing at the start, which we could easily eliminate, and you guys should do if you're actually, like, selling this to clients and stuff, is that, like, when we open it, it takes a second to load, but the reason it's loading is because it has to load all of the frames for the animation. We could easily make that into something, you know, more unique or more captivating than just a loading screen there. But tell me this isn't unbelievably sick. Like that's genuinely perfect. So you've completed all the steps. You've got a website that's up and running now. Guys, please don't forget, I'll leave this document linked in the description below. It'll walk you through every single thing, step by step, hold in your hand that you can do to basically replicate what we just did, sell it to clients, make thousands of dollars if you want to. And please listen, I'm gonna say the same thing that it says at the end of this document right here. Okay, maybe I won't because it's YouTube, okay? But just read it and understand you can do this stuff so easily, guys. Now, there's no excuse. There's nothing that you can say, no excuses you can make to not be doing this, okay? And as always as well, if you do want to join the free community and you want to talk to me directly, I'll leave a link below. Yeah, we're up to almost 1,000 members right now. That's pretty much it. I'm out. Peace.